So we are going to be building a to-do. We are going to be seeing how Vue.js works by building a simple to-do list application. So we go to the official Vue.js documentation. Click on Get Started, Quick Start. We come here. So you can use this to run like bigger projects, but because we are doing a simple to-do list, we just need to get uh, this this here. Copy everything, and this is like a fresh boilerplate for in VS Code. So basically, you paste this here, you cut this out because this goes into the head section, and I use Live Server to preview whatever changes I'm doing. So once I run this in Live Server, then we have this here. So the way it works is this is your message here, which is what we have here in the hello view. So whatever we are going to be writing, whatever code we are going to be writing is going to be between these div, so that this is what the Vue.js tracks here. So if we kind of like cancel this, and we have like our h1 here, and we say maybe title here, and we say to do app. Yeah, if we reference that here with two curly braces and we say title, which is this. So it comes here. So basically, how our app is going to work is we are going to have like an input box here. We're going to have like a button, and when we had, it renders the list on this screen here. So let's start by having our input. So this is our input here, which is what we have here, and we can define another data property here which holds our list item. So we can say our to-do item, we set it to empty because we don't have anything yet. And the way you bind this together is by using like your V model. So you set this V model to this name here, and you say to do item. So how we can view if this works is when you go to when you inspect, have your Vue Dev tools, which you can install. It's like a Chrome extension. So you see all your properties here, and whatever we are typing in here should appear under this to do item. So let's give it a trial. Let's say run. You can see we have run here, which means that it works. So now we can go back to our code and continue. So we've seen how we can bind our input to this data here, and then we can have a button here that helps us add the item. So when you say add item, we have this now, which is add item. So basically, we have our data here, which holds all our properties. The way you have data, you can have methods as well, which holds all your functions. So we can have methods here. It's just going to be an object, and then we can say undo add. So you don't need to have like the function. He already knows it's a function, so it's just the name and this here. So let's see if this works. We can just console.log and say clicked. So when you come to your console here, and yeah, so how we tie our buttons to this is we use the at directive. So we want to say at click. This listens for the click, and it just runs this function and do add. So if you are not passing any argument to this function, you just call the name. You don't invoke it because we don't want it to run like instantly. We just want it to run whenever we click on this button. So if we click on this now in our console, we should see clicked, which means it works. So what do we want to do here? Now we need like an array to hold our list of to-dos. So the way it works is we set this to like an MC array. So the way it works is whenever we click on this button, it adds it to this array, and then we loop over this array to display a list of these to-do items. So now we have like our to-do array here. So basically, when we click on this, we want to add this item here to this array. So we can do our check because we don't want to be adding like an empty item to this array, and then so we can check if the to-do item, if the to do item, yeah, I said, so whenever you want to reference any of your properties here, you always use like this keyword to reference any of these items here. So we are checking to see if this to do item, which is what we have here, is empty. If it is equals to, if it is equal to empty here, then we can tell the user to enter a to do item. Let's see if this works now. We don't have anything, we click, yeah, tells them to enter the to do item. But if we don't have anything, we want to go ahead and add the item to this array. So how we do that is by pushing. So we can say this dot to do array dot push. What are we pushing? We are pushing the to do item to this array. So now if we check if we go back to our view dev tools and we put something here, you can see our array has like 0 elements here, and we just add something here. I don't know why this is not updating, but let's test. We can use our console.log. So let's just see what happens here. Console.log. We want to check what is contained in our to-do array. So if we refresh now and come back here, and if we test like run, you can see it contains this element here, 1. If we had something else here, job, you can see it has 2 elements now. So what we can do now to have like a good user experience is to always set this back to empty whenever we enter, whenever we click on the add item. So this is our function here, and whenever we had this array now, we want to set this dot to do item back to an empty array, to an empty string. So basically, when you have like run here, you click on here, it goes away. So now I think this is working, and we can do away with this. So we need to find a way to display our list. So we can use like a UL to display this. And basically, when you want to loop over an array, you can use your v-for attribute. So we have like the li here, and you can just say v-for your list in the to do array, which is what we are, or we can say to do in to do array, and you can have your to do here. So when we had like an item here, run, you can see it's displaying that jog. You can see we have that. So that works. So another thing we can do for user experience is we can check if there's anything in this array, and that is when we want to display this. And if there's nothing in this array, we just want to tell the user to add an item to the list. So you can do that by using your v-if directive. This just works like the regular if. So we can say if to do array dot length, we are checking the length to see if it's greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, that means there's like an item in this list and we can display this. But if it's not, we can use your v-else, which is like your else statement. Then we can say v-else here, and we can just tell the user that there are no items in the list yet. So you can see, because we don't have anything in the list here, we have this, and we can just put something like run again, and we have this. So now that we have our basic, so yeah, lest I forget, you need to add like a key property here to make sure our list renders correctly. So this this key property has to be a property that is unique to the to do item. So because we don't have like an ID here that can be unique, and we can just add like this index. We just automatically adds like an index to this array, like 0, 1, 2, 3, or whatever the case may be, and you just add it here. So we don't have like a rendering problem here. So let's check if our app still works. run, build. Yeah, still works. So now that we have this working fine, so basically let's look for a way to kind of remove these items from this list as well. So we can define another function here. So you can define as many functions as you want here. So we can say handle remove. And now this is going to take an argument because we want to know we want to reference which particular item we want to remove from this list. So let's say it takes like the value, and then let's console.log value. Let's console.log value for now. So the way we are going to do this is let's attach a span to each of our to-do lists, and we put X here. So when we have a list here, so we want to click on this X now to run this function here. So like as we've done before, we can add our @click here and run our handle remove. But this time around, we are going to be passing this index into it. So that is why I'm adding like the invocation here, because we are passing something into it. So when you click on this, we are expected to run this function. It receives that index here and it console.logs the index. So let's say we had like run here and we have like job here, and let's go to our console, and if we click on this, you can see it gives us the index. If we click on this, it gives us the index. So we can splice this array by this particular index to remove that particular element we are targeting, the element we click on. So we can see this dot to do array dot splice, and we can splice by the value, and we give it a value of 1, which means we just want to remove that particular element. And now if you have run here, you have jog here, you have sleep here, you have cook, and kind of like click on sleep, you can see it has removed sleep. Click on jog. Yeah, so that's how it works. So this is basically a simple way to just get up and running with Vue.js. So we looked at the how to call our functions, the v-for to loop over items, the v-if directive, and the v-else directive. Yeah, so thank you. That's going to be all for now. See you on another video. Bye.